Okay, so this is a video on the comparative advantage. This is challenge number 1, so it's the white sheet of paper. And assumed if you're watching this that you are forfeiting your ability to use this as a master credit because, of course, I'm giving you the answers. So I'm going to try to go through this and hopefully help you understand the correct answers, why I got the correct answers, in hopes that it helps you prepare for the test tomorrow. All right, so first, we've got to check out what we're looking at here. So we're looking at Germany and the United States. It says production possibilities. These are actually our entire production possibilities curves, right? A, B, C, D, E, F. If I plotted these out, it would look something like this, right? Concave curve right there. So with that in mind, we don't actually need most of this information. Remember, when we're talking comparative advantage, we're only looking at our extremes. So point A and point F are what we care about for each of these. So I'm just going to go ahead and square these up so that we know what we're talking about this whole time. Okay, the first question is, who has an absolute advantage in autos and chemicals respectively? So first we're going to look at autos. I'm going to put an A here to represent autos and put equal. Well, absolute advantage simply means they can outproduce the other one. It has nothing to do with how many resources they use. It has everything to do with just, hey, if they spend all of the resources on producing just one thing, can they outproduce the other nation, right? So absolute advantage, right now we're looking first at autos. So our auto side is F. That's where we're producing only automobiles and no chemicals right here, right? So for F, who is actually able to produce more automobiles if they spend all of their resources doing it? The correct answer is Germany, right? Right here, Germany can produce 20. The United States can only produce 15. So Germany is the correct answer. So I'll put germ here. Sorry again for my mouse writing, not very good at it. Next, I'm going to look at chemicals. Who has an absolute advantage for chemicals? So that's the other side of it. We're on A, right? We're looking at if I produce no autos and just chemicals, who can produce more? So here, Germany can produce 40 chemicals if they produce no autos, and the United States can produce 60 chemicals. So United States is actually our absolute advantage right there. Okay. Next question asks about comparative advantage. And so that should be a key to you that you need to chart it up. I'm going to come over here and draw my chart. The chart never leads you astray. There are other ways that you can do this, but I've seen students get tripped up when they try other things. So the chart is very, very helpful. Okay, so we put our products up here. So this is product auto, and these are our chemicals. And then down here, we've got Germany at the top, and we've got the United States at the bottom. And then we just put in our extreme. So we're talking Germany right now, so our top row here. Germany, if they produce only automobiles, that's point F, they can produce 20. And if they produce only chemicals, that's point A, they can produce 40. And then I do the same thing for the United States. If they produce only automobiles, point F, they can produce 15. And if they produce only chemicals, that's point A, they can produce 60, 60. And there we have it. Now I need to identify comparative advantage. And I know in order to do that, I have to find opportunity cost. So here, for one auto, right, we're doing comparative advantage. For one auto, how many chemicals have to be given up? Well, this is output-based production. So I know output other over. So O, O, O. Ooh. Output other over. So one auto equals other, 40, over, so 40 over 20, or 2 chemicals. And you can just set the 2 equal and solve for 1 as well. That's up to you. And then over here, it's 1, sorry, that's supposed to be a parentheses, 1 auto, or 1 chemical, sorry. 1 chemical equals other, 20 over 40, or 1/2. 1 chemical equals 1/2 auto. Okay, keep on rolling. Next up, the United States autos right here. 1 auto equals other, 60 over 15 is 4 chemicals, so it's 4C. And then 1 chemical here will equal other, 15 over 60, or 1/4 of an auto. All right, now we need to go ahead and circle them up. We know that the nation should specialize in what they can produce for the lowest opportunity cost. So we're looking in the column for autos here. Who should specialize in autos, or who has a comparative advantage in autos? Well, Germany, to produce 1 auto, it only costs them 2 chemicals. But for the United States to produce 1 auto, it's very expensive and costly. It costs them 4 chemicals. But Germany is going to specialize because of this low opportunity cost, specializes in autos. So the answer to B is Germany. Okay, then who has a comparative advantage in chemicals? We look over here in this column, right? The Germany can produce one chemical for a half of an auto, but the United States, it only costs them 1/4 of an auto. They have a lower opportunity cost. So the United States is going to specialize in chemicals. The United States is specializing in chemicals. So here is the US. Okay, now the next question is asking about gains from trade. Okay, so gains from trade. It says, if we originally started at combination C, both nations did, what gains of trade have occurred? So what it's saying is we used to be right here before specialization, right? So now what we have to do is we have to do our before and after. So I'm going to put B and after, and then I'm going to put G for gains, okay? And then we have two, we have automobiles and we have chemicals are our two products where we can see gains. So before, we're looking at point C for the before. Point C, autos. Germany produced 8. The United States produced 6. So we actually have 14 automobiles beforehand. And then before for chemicals, Germany produced 24. The United States produced 36. So that is 60. We had 60 chemicals. After. Okay, after, who's specializing in automobiles? Well, we looked over here, we said automobiles, that's going to be Germany. So we come up here to Germany, they're specializing in autos. They're producing 20 automobiles, 20, because they're producing at point F, only producing autos, right? And then the United States then is specializing in chemicals, and they're producing 60 chemicals. So our gains from trade are actually 6 chemicals. The difference between those two, we got 6 more and 0 autos. So up here I put 6 chemicals and comma 0 autos. Okay, and then finally, terms of trade parameters. Terms of trade parameters says that I'm never going to trade unless I can gain that item for a lower cost than what it would cost me to produce it myself. In other words, I want to make sure that it sits within the parameters of our opportunity cost. So we actually just bracket right here, right? And then down here we draw out our parameters. So the trade parameters or terms of trade are going to be somewhere between one chemical equals 1/4 of an auto, 1/4 auto, just taking R2. And then I do my little double arrow here, somewhere between that and one chemical equals 1/2 of an auto. There you have it. One chemical equals 1/4 of an auto, or one chemical equals 1/2 of an auto. If it falls somewhere in between there, the answer is yes, we will do that trade. If it falls outside of those parameters, if they ask for one auto for one chemical, for example, then the answer is no. And there you have it. That's the first question for comparative advantage challenge number 1.